Alright guys, so I usually don't do videos like this, but every once in a while I think it's appropriate to respond to trolls and haters. And the reason why is because sometimes the things that these people say, it really does demonstrate a point that should be made about how people in our society lack critical thinking skills. They are really non-playable characters. They just do and say the things that they think they're supposed to say without actually thinking through what they're saying and why they are saying it. And that is basically what happened with this interaction I had with this NPC on Twitter, in which one quote tweet for me made him either delete his tweet or take down his tweet or to change his viewership settings on the tweet so that people who don't follow him or whatever can't see the tweet, because his tweet was stupid. And I'm gonna go ahead and put up the tweet so that you guys can see what he tweeted, right, before he tried to take it down, right? It was a tweet in which this guy called me a racial slur, okay? The C word. You know the word that they use, that they call black people who actually think outside the box, okay? Who don't just go along with the woke and liberal narrative. Yeah, he called me the C word because of my take on Disney's new woke Little Mermaid, okay? He doesn't like the fact, presumably he doesn't like the fact that I'm against race swapping, that I don't like the fact that Disney has a black Little Mermaid. Now, this particular tweet or attack really blew me away, okay? Not because I haven't seen it before. I mean, I have people every single day that in my DMs calling me a Sambo or Tom or a sellout and all types of other stuff, right? I personally really don't care, okay? The only reason I'm responding to this is because this, right, response to my video really kind of blew my mind, because I'm like, if you're calling me a racial slur in response to what I said about Disney race swapping, you obviously did not listen to the video. You did not listen to the core argument that I was making in the video, which is that I don't like race swapping because I would much rather see movies about original black characters, right? That is what I said. That was the crux of my whole argument, okay? What I was not saying is that, well, I don't want any black representation, or I don't think that black people should have lead roles in movies and nothing like that. I was like, no, I don't think race swapping is necessary. You don't need to take a white character and make them black to force people to watch it. I actually think there's a market for original black characters in stories. And I thought that if you're gonna have a mermaid story, right, why taint the original Disney story, right, by making Ariel black when she's white? Why do that? That does nothing but cause controversy and division when there's plenty of African mermaid stories out there that they could have adopted and said, hey, this is not the Little Mermaid. We're going to tell a new mermaid story that happens to, you know, come from an African author or whatever. I would have been totally fine with that, right? I think most people would have been like, oh, okay, that's cool, right? That's what I wanted, right? That was the whole point. That was the whole point. So I don't know if this person actually went back and watched the video after I quote tweeted them, basically saying that they lack the ability to critically think, because that has to be what it is. You either didn't listen or you don't know how to critically think, right? I don't know if they went back and watched my video. I don't know if they actually thought about it and decided to delete their tweet or whatever, or they decided to limit who can view the tweet. Doesn't matter. All I know is that responses like that is exactly why we can't go anywhere as black people, okay? This is why we're not going anywhere. Because we refuse to think outside of the box, okay? We don't want to think outside of the box. Especially some of these woke people, right? Where they literally just think whatever they were told to think, okay? The woke professor said that European colonialism was objectively bad, and you should hate European colonialism as a black American, okay? Which is why all these NPCs on Twitter, you know, have taken the time to mock and attack the queen after she died. Again, I really don't have any real feelings towards the queen or anything like that, because that's not my country, okay? That's their queen. She wasn't my queen. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, I actually took the time to think about it and say, how would my life be without European colonialism? I don't think my life would be better without it, right? I think that European colonialism was objectively a good thing. You know those things that we take for granted, like, I don't know, freedom of speech, democracy, individual rights, modernized healthcare, right? All those things that we really don't think about, all benefits of European colonialism. And for Black Americans specifically, we have benefited quite a bit from it, okay, in the long run, compared to some of these African countries. So, hey, I'm not as salty as some of these other people are about it, right? And I don't think that most Black Americans, if you actually sit down and think about the effect that it's had on your life, I don't think that you have all that much reason to be so upset about it. But again, that required me to actually sit down and to think through it instead of going along with what you're supposed to believe as a Black person in this country, right? Again, it applies to so many different things. Like when I talk about Black on Black crime, right? When I call out all the stuff going on in these Black neighborhoods that is destroying Black businesses, it's destroying Black lives, okay? But I'm called a sellout for it. I'm called a Tom for it because Black people in this country have been told that no, if you call out Black people, right, in their crimes, then you're a sellout, right? That's anti-Black. When it's like, no, I'm actually doing it because I don't like to see Black people suffer, right? I don't want to see innocent, law-abiding Black people who are trying to make a way for themselves in this country, who are working hard, right? Who took a risk and started a business, who has a business in the Black community, who's employing Black people. I don't want to see them lose their business. I don't want to see them lose their livelihoods, right? I don't want to see that. That's why I call it out. That's why it's such a focus for me. It doesn't come from a place of, oh, well, you just try to talk down on Black people. You hate Black people. No. Because if I hated Black people, I would actually just say nothing about it. If I hated Black people, I would actually be woke, to be quite honest with you. Because the truth is that woke people don't believe in Black folks. They don't believe that Black people are able to accomplish anything on our own. They don't really believe in Black creativity or Black entrepreneurship or any of those things. They say they don't really believe in it. That's why they're always looking for a handout. This is why they're always looking to make it easier for Black people and to lower standards for Black people because they actually really don't believe in you, right? I'm not looking to make it easier for Black people than everybody else or to lower standards for Black people because I actually believe in Black people. I believe that Black people can outcompete. If you work hard and you put in the work, you can outcompete anybody. And I'm actually going to tell you guys a story, a personal story that convinced me of this. This is where it kind of clicked for me when I was in college. I feel like I told you guys before, my first 2 years in college at UNC Chapel Hill were not good for me as a student because I was not putting in the work to get the grades that I thought I should be getting. It was a very dark place for me, okay? I had like a 3.0 GPA, which I consider to be bad considering how, you know, growing up, it was easy for me. I never really had to study. I would just make A's. But when you get to college and you are among people who are all, you know, smart or whatever, it becomes a different ball game. And I didn't realize that my first 2 years in college, I blamed the system because I was buying into some of the woke nonsense that I was hearing around campus in regards to what these professors were saying about how, oh, Black people got it so bad, you're systemically oppressed, nothing's your fault. I blame the university, okay? I didn't blame myself. But what really changed my mentality for the rest of my life is this one little experience that I had going into my junior year where I said, you know what? I'm just going to study, right? I'm going to study my butt off. I'm going to get an A in my corporate finance class. Okay, now this is a high level, 400 level corporate finance class. And I was motivated because I was like, okay, after I graduate, I want to get a job in finance. I want to go into the finance field. So I need to make sure I know what I'm talking about, you know, when I do my interviews or whatever. So I need to study. I'm going to make an A. So when the midterms came around, because in college, you really only get 2 grades. It's the midterm and the final. That basically makes up your grade, okay? So studying for the midterm, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to study at the last minute. I'm not going to study the day before or even 2 days before. I started studying like 2 weeks before, okay? 2 weekends before. I said, I'm going to study a little bit, you know, and then I'm just going to, you know, study more as I get closer to the midterm, but I'm not going to start at the last minute, okay? So I studied a lot for that test. And I remember, I'm not sure if I studied with this guy the first time, but I know I was in class with this Asian guy, okay, who was like a prestige scholar in the business school. Okay, he had, you know, special award or something like that. Smart guy, extremely smart Asian guy. And I remember after taking that midterm and getting my test score back, I think I made a 96 or a 98. It wasn't a 100. It was a 96 or a 98. And I remember the Asian guy asking me what I got on the test, and I showed him my test result. And I will never forget this guy's face when he saw my test score, because he saw that I had made a higher score than he did. I think he got maybe like a 94 or 92. So he saw my 96, 98. I could just tell what was going through his head. What was going through his head is that he was like, I can't believe this black dude just got a higher score on the midterms than I did. Again, this Asian guy, extremely talented, right? I'm pretty sure he's going places. He's probably working for some big bank or something right now. Okay, I need to go check out his LinkedIn and see what he's doing. And believe it or not, when the finals came up, he asked to study with me. He's like, hey, do you want to study together? So we went to a library off campus and we studied together because he wanted to know, I guess, how I study, or he wanted to pick up things for me because I got a, you know, higher score than he did on the midterms. I'm just saying, you could tell the respect that was given because this guy was like, yeah, this dude works hard. But I'm just saying, that experience changed my life. It actually made me realize that it's about the work that you put in. It's not even really about your individual level of talent, because who knows, that Asian guy, he may not have had to study as much as I did. But it didn't matter because I outcompeted him. I outworked him. And because I outworked him, I got a higher score than he did. Didn't matter what his race is. Didn't matter what my race was. I applied that mentality throughout the rest of, you know, my college career. Okay. And I ended up graduating with a 3.4 GPA, right? So I brought it up from a 3.0 to a 3.4 in my last 2 years because I was like, oh, this is easy. All I got to do is just study. And I made good grades. This is why I'm against affirmative action. I didn't come from a background where I had all the resources in the world and that my parents knew everything and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I didn't come from that. I don't think I'm an exceptionally talented individual, right? I don't think any of those things. I just think that if you work hard, things will fall into place. Anything I've ever done in my life in which I've worked hard, I put 100% effort in, I've been successful. And it works every single time. Now, sometimes it won't work. Obviously, there's some things that, you know, hey, you're going to fail at regardless of how hard you work. But my point is that I believe in the power of hard work. I believe in putting in the effort. And if you put in enough effort and if you try hard enough, you will get the results that you want. But back to the main point of this video, which is what I started with, that tweet of that guy calling me a racial slur. Because I simply just believe that, hey, I don't think that you need to race swap in order to have so-called black representation or to, you know, sell a movie that, you know, has a black character and a lead character, whatever. I actually think that you can just make original black characters and original stories, you know, with black people, whatever, and it'll sell as long as it's a good story. We've seen that happen time and time and time again. But see, what really gets me is that these same people that love calling people that they disagree with politically racial slurs, they don't actually believe in black folks, right? They actually don't think very highly of black people. That's why they're always trying to ask for some type of handout, okay? That's why they don't want to criticize the black community or call out black on black crimes, because they really don't. They don't believe highly in black people. They think that a lot of this stuff is just natural, right? You're not supposed to say anything about it because, hey, it is what it is. That's just how black people are. I don't believe that, right? That's why I say the things that I say, because I think highly of black people. And when you think highly of people, okay, you believe in somebody's potential, you're going to hold them to a high standard because you believe that they can meet that standard. It's really that simple. But some people just don't see it that way. For whatever reason. I really don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.